let's not even talk about anti-Semitic conspiracies. Okay, what is a conspiracy of any kind? Because you, JJ, are a man of modest age and modest ambition, and I think you need to incorporate a little bit more edge in your rhetoric. So, what is a conspiracy that you find plausible? Did the moon landing really happen?
There are no plausible conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories are by definition stupid arguments that are based on a lack of evidence that is then filled in with imagination.
So which of them is most plausible? Which of them is most plausible?
Which of them is most plausible?
Like JFK, CIA, moon landing.
I don't know. Most of them are just not very plausible. Like when you look into them, like I used to think like maybe there was something to like the UFO stuff, but it seems like there isn't really. Like when you
it's funny you mention that because I utterly just compartmentalized that out of my life entirely. Like there are just UFOs flying around to these fucking military objects.
Okay, Paul. Why are there never UFO sightings in anywhere except for Canada, America, and England? Why are there no UFO sightings in like India? Why are there no UFO sightings in Papua New Guinea?
I don't know that. I don't know that that's not true.
There aren't. Like when you look at like
you looked into it.
I have looked into it. When you look at maps of where all UFO sightings have happened, it is only in the English-speaking world.
And it is because of racism. Paul, because of racism and colonialism, we marginalize the UFO sightings of brown people. Because of people that look like you whitey.
Okay, perhaps that's the case, or perhaps it is the case that the parts of the world that consume a lot of media about UFOs have a tendency to see UFOs in the same way that like we don't have sightings of like the kind of weird dragon creatures that they believe exist in Thailand in America in some sort of coincidental faction.
Okay, I'll tell you this. There are UFOs. The government has said we don't know what these objects are.
Yes, but that doesn't mean they're alien space.
Correct. I'm not saying they're aliens. Okay,
first off, that's what the UFO subculture says.
Fine. I'm not the UFO subculture. They're not aliens. First off, they're interdimensional psychic vampires. Okay, everyone knows that. But even if they're not that, then what are they? Well, they're military craft. Hopefully they're fucking American. If they're not, that's almost even scarier. Because if they're Russian or Chinese and they're flying over our nuclear plants and flying over our aircraft carriers, and we go to war with Russia or China, then we're actually FUCKED. Isn't that scarier than aliens? I mean, aliens, because the thing is if they were aliens and they haven't vaporized us yet, then I'm like, okay, they might be like trying to be like, what up? You know, they might come and say hello. But if they're military craft, then we're fucked.
But this is not a conspiracy theory anymore. Like at this point, you're just kind of saying that like once in a while we see things in the sky that we can't recognize. It's like big whoop. Like that would be shocking if that wasn't the case.
Have you ever been gaslit before, JJ? Because I think you just gaslit me. That is the most gaslighting thing I've ever heard in my life. A big, sometimes we see these unknown military craft that defy all laws of propulsion, all laws of physics. That
where's the conspiracy part? Like, where's the conspiracy part? Well, where's the conspiracy? Like, you're just describing like a kind of weird thing, but that's not the conspiracy. A conspiracy has to imply that there is some sort of group of bad people that are covering it up,
or bad aliens. The conspiracy is that some people know about what really is going on and aren't telling us. And that's
but the government does tell us what's going on, and the government has said we don't know.
Well, that's the thing. This is why
once in a while there's weird things in the sky, and we don't know what's going on with them.
This is why I have not made, I don't even think, a single video about UFOs in probably the last 2 years, because I cannot fit into my mind conceptually the possibility of aliens. It just, if it happens, then
I don't think to answer your question though, Paul, I don't think there's a single persuasive conspiracy theory out there. And actually a video that I've thought about making is I really want to make a video dunking on no, although that would be fun as well. But no, I want to make a video dunking on this idea that some conspiracy theories turned out to be true, because that is bullshit. No conspiracy theories have ever turned out.
Gulf of Tonkin.
That's not a conspiracy.
Operation Northwoods.
That's not a conspiracy theory. These are not conspiracy
theories.
The U.S.
government, plotted to kill its own citizens?
That's not a conspiracy theory, because a conspiracy theory...
Okay, fine. Well, then you're just defining conspiracy theory quite
No,
wrong.
no, because it's like a conspiracy theory is something that exists in the mainstream culture that a lot of people buy into and allege is a true thing. A conspiracy theory is not the... Pardon me?
MK Ultra.
That's not a conspiracy theory. Listen, Paul, a conspiracy theory involves a theory, right? A conspiracy theory does not describe any time the government has acted as a conspiracy, or any time the government has acted secretively. You know, there has to be a theoretical component to it. There has to be a degree to which the culture at large is talking and speculating about a thing that the government denies or is actively covering up. And I just don't think there are many examples of that ever happening.
Okay.
What would be your example, Paul?
Debunk
me,
hold on.
my friend.
We've defined conspiracy theory. You've defined conspiracy theory in a narrow way.
It has to have conspiracy. I don't think it's defining it narrowly to say it has to have a theoretical component. There has to be a theory.
Hold on. If I'm talking to Joe Schmo at the bar, and I say, "Hey, do you believe in any conspiracy theories?" He says, "You know, I bet the government has plotted to, kill U.S. citizens to start wars or something like that." That's most people would go, "Yeah, that sounds like a conspiracy theory." But you and I know that is 100% verifiably.
I don't think.
Are you like afraid to say it? It's almost like it's endearing. It's funny.
I'm saying that like a vaguely defined amorphous suspicion about a very generalized type of government conduct is not a conspiracy theory. A conspiracy theory is a very specific, deliberate charge that the conspiratorial-minded person is claiming he believes very firmly, or even has evidence, persuasive evidence, that proves that the government or the powers that be are doing this thing. Not just like some guy in a bar speculating randomly about a thing. It's like the UFO people. Like the UFO people claim they have persuasive, convincing evidence, that they have photographs and documentation and testimony and all the rest of this, right?
Sure. But like, you would agree that, for example, if a bunch of people prior to Operation Northwoods becoming declassified, Operation Northwoods, for people who don't know, was a plan approved by, I believe it was the Joint Chief of Staff, sent over to Kennedy to sign. And the plan involved arming Cuban nationals with arms to kill American citizens to justify an invasion of Cuba.
Yes.
Now, again, we can put things very logically here. We were at a Cold War with a nuclear power, the Soviet Union, who had nuclear missiles. And the Cuban Missile Crisis almost wiped out America.
That's irrelevant for the purpose of the conspiracy theory. What makes it a conspiracy theory, Paul, is the theory part, that there exists some faction of the American public that is going around saying, "Oh, did you hear that old man Kennedy's planning to kill people?" And then Kennedy is like, "What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. We have no such plan to do any such thing." Like, it did not exist at that level. It was just a kind of weird, creepy secret plan that was discussed at the high level of the government at some point.
No, it was
and never actually was implemented
by the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Yes. But no one knew. No one knew, Paul, and no one was even speculating about the existence of such a plan.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. Fair enough. So let me ask you this: given that that is verifiably true, that the U.S. government had plans in place ready to go to kill U.S. citizens in order to invade a country. That's indisputable, verifiable.
Yes.
Does that not create even the tiniest little sense of empathy and sympathy for the conspiracy theorists who are like, that's pretty fucked up? And the MK Ultra stuff, even more fucked up.
Yeah.
And Gulf of Tonkin, all this different shit. At some point, you got to go, Jeffrey Epstein, P. Diddy. I don't even want to get into that. We won't even go into that. But you see all of this stuff. And there's a part of me that goes, I'm just not that interested in just saying anyone who believes anything that's remotely out there must be dumb.
But that's because you're already primed.
Because my financial incentives depend on it, right? That's my audience.
That is also
freakazoid conspiracy theorists. There we go. That's fair.
That is also very true.
Fair enough.